Welcome into another postseason edition of Iowa Prep Sports Postgame. Nathan Ford with the Gazette here. It's the first round in 5A, 4A, and 3A, the second round in 2A, 1A, and 8-player. We're going to take a look at all the classes, all the scores, see who's matching up in the quarterfinals tonight on Iowa Prep Sports Postgame. Let's get to it with 5A, pod number 1. It was number 2 Southeast Polk crushing Johnston 57-7. Fifth-ranked West Des Moines Dowling beat number 10 Linn-Mar 38-13. So it's Southeast Polk and Dowling, a rematch of a Week 1 classic that came down to the last play. The Rams winning 13-7 in that Week 1 game on a Hail Mary. So that's going to be a great quarterfinal matchup. Pod 2, we're going to get the matchup a lot of people have been wanting to see here in Eastern Iowa. Number 1 Cedar Rapids Kennedy beat Dubuque Senior 23-9. 7th-ranked Iowa City High beat number 9 Urbandale 47-21. In Pod 3, 6th-ranked West Des Moines Valley over Ankeny Centennial 35-21. Number 8 Pleasant Valley crushes Cedar Falls 42-14. Tigers and Spartans match up in the quarterfinals. And in Pod 4, number 4 Cedar Rapids Prairie pulled away from Bettendorf 24-6. And number 3 Ankeny blasted Waukee Northwest 42-3. Class 4A, take everything we thought we knew and just forget about it. The top-ranked North Scott Lancers, last year's Class 3A champions, are upset by Decorah on a late touchdown pass. The 10th-ranked Vikings win it 14-10, probably the stunner of the night in the postseason. Decorah will face number 7 Winterset in the quarterfinals. The Huskies beat Clear Creek Amana 24-17. Pod 2, it was 2nd-ranked Cedar Rapids Xavier beating Burlington 45-8, and number 8 Webster City all over number 10 Norwalk 57-20. So an interesting quarterfinal there between the Saints and the Lynx. In Pod 3, a couple more blowouts. 5th-ranked Waverly Shell Rock over Cedar Rapids Washington 42-14, and number 6 Bondurant Farrar beats Fort Dodge 36-9. Pod 4 will get a rematch of 2 teams that are tied for the number 3 spot in the Gazette's final poll. Indianola beating Carlisle 41-0, and Lewis Central over number 9 Spencer 46-14. Class 3A, more of the same for number 2 Boynton Hull-Rock Valley and number 1 Harlan with big blowout wins on Friday night. The Nighthawks beat Sioux Center 49-7, and they'll face Sergeant Bluff Luton. The 9th-ranked Warriors beat Algona 44-14. In Pod 2, it was 5th-ranked Humboldt beating Hampton Dumont Cal 47-6. Much anticipated game, 7th-ranked Independence wins at number 6 Benton Community 26-6. And then in Pod 3, the top-ranked Harlan Cyclones beat Ballard 45-0. They'll get number 8 Nevada in the quarterfinals after a close win for the Cubs over number 10 ADM 34-26. In Pod 4, like 4A, our 2 teams tied for the number 3 spot are going to match up in the quarterfinals. West Delaware all over Grinnell 48-0, and number 3 Solon holds off Davenport Assumption 24-17. Class 2A, Lyon County rivals going to meet in the quarterfinals for the 2nd year in a row. Last year it was Central Lyon, George Little Rock getting the best of West Lyon. West Lyon won the regular season meeting this year, and the Wildcats, ranked number 6, beat number 5 Spirit Lake 35-7 in the round of 16, and the Lions beat the Clear Lake Lions 42-7. So we'll get a rematch of West Lyon and Central Lyon in the quarterfinals. Pod 2, another great rematch between teams ranked number 2 and number 3 in our final regular season poll. Southeast Valley beat Iowa Falls Alden 50-13, and they'll face OABCIG, which went on the road to beat number 7 Greene County 34-14. Pod 3, Williamsburg will get a shot at top-ranked West Marshall. The Raiders beat PCM 35-0. West Marshall beat Mid Prairie 26-14. And in Pod 4, it's number 3 Waukon over Comanche 40-0, and 10th-ranked North Fayette Valley beating Monticello 27-14. Class 1A, Pod 1, number 2 Underwood shut out Western Christian 35-0. And number 7 West Sioux beat Ridgeview 45-20. In Pod 2, Van Meter will face ACGC once again, just a couple weeks after getting a big win over the Chargers. Number 1 Van Meter beating Woodward Granger 42-0, and ACGC ranked number 9 beat South Central Calhoun 34-13. In Pod 3, it was number 4 Dyke New Hartford over number 8 Pella Christian 35-14. All the teams ranked in this pod. 5th-ranked Sigourney Keota beating number 10 Waterloo Columbus in the playoffs for the 2nd year in a row, 18-7. So Sigourney Keota and Dyke New Hartford will match up in the quarterfinals. And in Pod 4, an upset here in 1A, MFL Marmac wins at number 3 Iowa City Regina 21-7. That snaps the Regals' 20-game winning streak, and Ryan Plegencool has more on the Bulldogs.
It's a final here from Regina as MFL Marmac pulls off the upset over the third-ranked Regals. Carter Decker had 2 scores for the Bulldogs, and the defense held Regina to a season-low 7 points. MFL will face Dyersville Beckman in the state quarterfinal round with the chance to go to the Unidome for the first time in school history. Back to you, Nathan.
And MFL Marmac will face number 6 Dyersville Beckman. The Blazers beat West Branch 24-7. In Class A, it was number 1 West Hancock over South O'Brien 31-7, and 9th-ranked HMS beat number 8 North Butler 26-7. Pod 2, number 6 Woodbury Central shuts out Southwest Valley 35-0. 4th-ranked Logan Magnolia 34-7 over Mount Ayr, so a rematch in the quarterfinals there. Pod 3, North Tama knocks off number 9 Linville Sully 12-8, and number 2 Grundy Center escapes against Earlham 6-0. In Pod 4, Wapsie Valley upsets number 3 North Lynn 7-6. The Warriors have been kind of quietly among the contenders here. They've put together a nice little resume, and now they're into the quarterfinals. They'll meet number 7 East Buchanan, which topped number 4 Lisbon 12-8. I was out there in Lisbon to get the highlights of this one. Let's see how it played out.
Brought down in the backfield at the turnover on down.
Defense winning the day for the Buccaneers. On to 8-player pod number 1. 3rd-ranked Remsen St. Mary's beat Kingsley Pearson 46-6. It was number 10 Don Bosco over GTRA 54-20. And in pod 2, 4th-ranked Easton Valley handled English Valley 60-7. 9th-ranked Lansing Key in a classic over number 6 Turkey Valley 42-40. The Key Hawks nearly beat Easton Valley a couple weeks ago and now get another shot at the Riverhawks in the quarterfinals. Pod 3, 7th-ranked Waco over Martinsdale St. Mary's 50-8. And number 5 Audubon all over number 2 Montezuma 63-14. The Wheelers' only loss of the year is over top-ranked Cam, and they are proving that they are a contender for sure. And in Pod 4, it was top-ranked Cam beating Fremont Mills 46-20. Newell Fonda knocks off number 8 Lennox 39-14. Thanks again for tuning in to Iowa Prep Sports Postgame all season long. This is going to be the last of our Friday night postgame video shows of the season. But we'll have plenty more coverage of the playoffs, of course, at thegazette.com. More podcasts coming your way as well, and video shows. So be on the lookout for those on all of our Iowa Prep Sports social media channels and the Iowa Prep Sports podcast feed if you prefer to listen. Thanks again for tuning in, and have a great weekend, everybody.